right, reading today. You are going to want to get out, you can get out your notebooks, turn to your notes we took yesterday, and you're going to want to open up on your iPad your Schoology assignment from yesterday. So you had 3 stories to read, decide on the point of view, tell me why, and submit that. So you're going to want to pull that up. So 2 things you're getting out right now, reading notebook and the assignment submitted yesterday. Yesterday you read 3 stories, okay? And those 3 stories were different, right? Based on who was telling them. Okay, it was the same story told 3 different ways. So, let's think about this. What would a story that is told by different people, or how would a story, why would a story vary? We talked a little bit about this yesterday. Sean?
Kind of like the wolf and the 3 little pigs. People might think different things happen than what someone else.
Right, we have different thoughts, right? Different feelings, okay? We observe things differently. We might see something that somebody else didn't. Okay, a lot of different reasons as to why a story might be told differently by different people. Okay? So, this is what you had to do yesterday. I'm going to put them all up here. You had to read the stories, right? They were all the same, which you may or may not have caught on to. Okay, except they were from 3 different viewpoints. So these were the viewpoints you were working on. First person, third person limited, and third person omniscient. Okay? So you read those, and then you decided what viewpoint they were. So we're going to get here. I think I have the stories in the right order. Hopefully this should be story A. Okay? So you're looking for story A right now. I know you can't see it. I'm going to read it to you so it kind of refreshes our memory. Okay? So story A was, it was early. Way too early for John to be bounding out of bed, racing down the hallway, and leaping onto his sleeping parents. But he did. He did it anyway. He hurled himself into his parents' quiet bedroom shouting, "It's my birthday! It's my birthday!" His mind was full of racing thoughts. Enormous packages to open, monstrous slices of chocolate cake piled high with frosting, a house full of people visiting just for him. His mouth watered with the thought of birthday ice cream sundaes as he squealed, "When do we eat cake? When do we open presents?" Uh-oh, thought John's mom. She knew she still had to buy his special gift, a new cherry red bike, but there were things to finish around the house before she could sneak away to the store. "That's a long way off, mister," his mother said. Your party isn't until tonight. We have plenty of things to do to get ready before your guests arrive. The first thing you should do is wash up and have some birthday pancakes." John pretended to grumble, but he was actually looking forward to some special birthday flapjacks, hot off the griddle. So that was story A. I'm going to skip through here. All right, here's story A. So I highlighted some things. Some of you asked yesterday, can I highlight? Do I have to write them down? If you highlighted, that's fine. Okay, what were some clues? What were some things you highlighted? Let's start there. Nick?
Well, the things I wrote down, it's like telling, because it's third person element because it's telling what he thinks and it's telling what his mom thinks.
Good. So you'll notice here, I highlighted, his mind was full of racing thoughts, right? And here I wrote down, uh-oh, thought John's mom, because we're getting thoughts from both, right? Mom and John. So it is third person omniscient, okay? And the why is because we have thoughts from Mom and John. We have the pronouns he, she, right? His. Somebody asked about his yesterday. Can I highlight that as a pronoun? Yeah, it's a pronoun, okay? And it's a third person pronoun. All right, so those, but I didn't necessarily highlight all of the pronouns because here's your and you, What did we say about your and you yesterday? Maya? Right, those are typically, we see those in second person writings, but why do we know this is not a second person writing? Why do we know it's not second person point of view? Even though I see you and your in it. John? Right, it's not telling you something to do. It's quotes, right? It's telling John something to do because I think this was mom talking, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, your party isn't, yeah, his mother said. So mom is talking to somebody in the story. So can you just go through and start highlighting pronouns in a story? No, you have to read it. Okay, you have to read it and understand what's happening in order to know whether or not these pronouns are ones that should be highlighted or are clues for what point of view it is. Okay, that was story A, third person omniscient. And I have it down here. Let's see. Adjust my camera a little bit. There we go. Okay. And these highlighted words are things that help us know why it's that one. Let's go to story B. We'll just use these. They're already my highlighted ones, but that's all right. So story B. Same story, right? Very similar. So the first one was told by mom. We were hearing it through a narrator, right? Let's see what this one is. It says, it was early. Starts out the same way. Way too early for me to be bounding out of bed, racing down the hallway and leaping onto my sleeping parents. But I did it anyway. I hurled myself into my parents' quiet bedroom shouting, "It's my birthday, it's my birthday." My parents slowly woke from their slumber as I squealed, "When do we eat cake? When do we open presents?" "That's a long way off, mister," my mother said. "Your party isn't until tonight, and we have plenty of things to do to get ready before your guests arrive. The first thing you should go do is wash up and have some birthday pancakes." I pretended to grumble, but I was actually looking forward to some special birthday flapjacks hot off the grill. So let's get out of the way. What point of view is this one? Brendan? First person. Why? Why, Sean?
Because it has all the I's and my's
Right.
and me's.
Yep, lots of I's, me's, my, we, right? Okay, myself. So we know we're getting this story is being told just by John. What information did we get in the last story that we don't get here? So even the length, let's go back here. Even the length of this story, right? Much longer in third person omniscient than this one in first person. Why? What information do we have, Nick?
Because in the third person omniscient, it's telling you like what his mom's thinking and not just him.
Right.
And in this, what's it called? This one is just telling you what he's thinking.
The first person one, right? So here we had all these extra thoughts, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all these extra thoughts from mom. Here we know she hadn't bought his special gift yet. Do we get that information in our first person story? No, we don't know that at all. Okay? We had none of that information. We really don't even get his thoughts and feelings, right? We're just getting what he's doing and saying. Okay? He doesn't even share thoughts and feelings like we get from this one. Okay? So a big difference in length and the information we get. John, what else?
And they don't show the name.
Right, here we don't get John's name at all, do we?
No, we don't.
Yeah, I didn't think so. We just, mom talks about, my mother said, yeah, so no name here. We don't even know that it's John. It could be Nick for all we know. Right? Okay, so a lot of different information. How do you think, whoops. Oh, it's already there. That's right. We know it's this. How do you think this story changes, though? What are we going to be missing still from here? This is story C. I didn't read it yet. I don't know that we necessarily need to. Okay, I already am showing you here. It's third person limited. Sean, what's different about this one compared to the other ones?
Doesn't really show any thoughts of his mother.
Right. We still don't know about the special gift, right? We don't have any thoughts from mom, but we do get some more information from John, though, don't we? Okay? Some more thoughts. We have all of these: he, his, him, okay? All of those pronouns. We see some my's in here, but that's just because it's what he's saying. All right, but third person limited, we're getting thoughts and what he's doing. So we get a tad bit more, but not a bunch more. So out of those three, first person, third person limited, third person omniscient, which one gave us the most information? Nick?
Third person omniscient.
Right. Because why? Why do we get more information from third person omniscient than the other ones? Adam? Right. We got two character thoughts. They could have also maybe even thrown in Dad's thoughts, right? And that'd have given us even more. Okay? So that third person omniscient gives us way more information, okay, than some of the other points of view. And that's how it changes the story, right? We get more information, okay? We might get information like names as well. Riker?
I have a question.
Sure.
Why do every time we read a story, the person in it is John?
I don't know.
Exactly.
It always has
These were
one
ones I
person.
found. I didn't.
I'm favorite.
Yeah, it's a popular name, right?
I'm in everywhere.
Everywhere. Questions on any of those stories? A, B, or C? No? Figured them out okay? How'd we do? Thumbs up for good?
I got one wrong
Okay.
because on the first one I accidentally put limited and omniscient, but then I read it again and it was omniscient.
Omniscient. Yeah, we had those thoughts. So it said mom thought, John thought. We got two mom, I mean, I call that a name, right? We got two people's thoughts, so it worked. Brandon, what's your question? What's up?
I had a thumbs down because I got two.
Which two? Did you miss up the third person ones?
Yeah.
Okay.
Put down for C, omniscient, and A for.
Okay, so you see why this one isn't omniscient? Why it's limited? Okay, we're only getting we're only getting John's thoughts. Mom is talking, but that's because John is taking that information and giving it to us. Okay, but we're not getting her thoughts and feelings. So that's the important thing. Looking for those words, those thoughts, those feelings, okay, things that they might be thinking in their mind, okay, that they're not telling us, then that tells you that it's probably omniscient if it's more than one character. If it's one character giving all of that information, remember limited means we have a limited amount, okay? Those are the two probably most confusing ones. I'm gonna exit out of that. And I think, yeah, let me change my screen here. Schoology. All right, I'm gonna go into reading. I just need you watching here for a few minutes. Oh, this is what I need to do. Book report. So I have some graded over here. I looked at some of those yesterday. We're going to kind of shift gears here for a minute because I need to talk to you about these book reports. I left some comments for some of you on what you have already submitted. I'm a little disappointed by what I have seen from some of you. Okay, and it's not just those of you here in the classroom. It's everybody that's doing reading. My class, Mrs. Bush's class, those of you at home e-learning. Okay, I left some comments for you to go back and check and resubmit some things. Because there is a huge lack of effort on these book reports. So if I look at it, it says to pick one for each book, right? You were supposed to pick one different one for each book. I'm going to start there. It shouldn't be the same thing done 3 times. Okay? We talked about that when we assigned this. Okay? And then if I look at this first one, it says write a diary entry from the perspective of one of your characters. So would a diary entry be one sentence? No. Guess what I got from some of you? One sentence. Would a summary? So for an informational book, write a summary. Would that be one sentence?
No.
Absolutely not. You cannot summarize a book that you are supposed to be reading in one sentence. Can I summarize these stories we just read about John? One of them in a sentence? Probably not. I would probably still need at least 2 or 3 sentences to summarize it and be efficient with that. Okay, so one sentence for any of these items, not acceptable. Okay, that's the first thing. Some of you created a test. Do I give you a test with one question? No. 2 questions? No.
Or at least
No.
10 or more.
Not 2 questions. A test?
Oh.
Not a test.
At least
Because what is a test covering? Nick?
Like a lot of stuff.
Lots of information. It's like a summary, right? Trying to cram everything into 2 questions, it's not going to work. 5, at least, questions for it to count as a test for a book. 5 at the least. Okay? A travel brochure, which is exactly what you're working on in for language. So a travel brochure gives you information about a book. Okay? So for the setting, so it's pretty much is what you're doing for language. What's the setting of the book? Okay, you were reading about Native Americans, you had to read about a Veterans Day book. What else did you have to do? A Thanksgiving book? So maybe the setting of your Native Americans book was just in general the Midwest. So you would write information. So a brochure gets folded into thirds like this. So I have a front cover, I open it up, I have 3 columns on the inside of information, and normally it has information on the back. That's a travel brochure. A travel brochure isn't a picture in one sentence. Okay? It's not what it is. Write a new ending for a book. Should that be one sentence? No. At least a paragraph. Okay? Just telling me, oh, I would do this instead. That's not going to work. That is a lack of effort. That is me hurrying up to try and get it done so I can move on. And that's unacceptable. Okay? I did have a couple of audio book reports, and you were just kind of, I'm assuming you would write something and then you were reading and recording it, which was fine. Okay? And those, if you're recording that, you should, it's a summary, so you should be reading me a paragraph. It might take you 2-3 minutes to read through it. Okay? It shouldn't be 30 seconds, because then that means you wrote maybe a sentence or two and you were reading it so fast I probably can't understand it. Okay? So keep that in mind for that one. The timeline, I had a couple of good timelines. I think Wyatt made a timeline that looked really good for his. Was it your Native American one?
I think it was my Thanksgiving.
Okay, and he had the timeline and he had the dates and some information on there, so that looked good. That's what I'm looking for that. Okay, a timeline isn't aligned with one thing on it. If you're not sure, then you either need to pick something different or do a little research on what it should look like. Okay, if you don't know what a brochure looks like or what a timeline should look like, then you need to look those items up. Okay? I know you've seen timelines. Okay? I think that covers most of them, but again, commercial advertising. So that would be like an iMovie. Like you would make a movie, do a movie, a quick videotape of yourself. You know what a commercial is, right? It's on TV. Okay, advertising the book. So you would be on your camera, kind of like I'm doing now, recording, right? Okay, recording some advertisement, trying to get people to read your book. Like a book review, only you're going to make a commercial out of it and record it. Okay? So I'm looking. You have until December 16th to get these book reports due, so I'm giving you time still. If you've already submitted things, and I've already graded it, it's not the end. You can resubmit. Okay? And it will generally, you need to let me know too, generally it will let me know that you resubmitted something. Not always, so make sure you message me saying you resubmitted, parts of your book report for November and December. Okay? So if you did not put nearly the effort into it that you should have, you probably have a 50% right now. Okay? So I would encourage you to take time between now and December, I think 16th is when it's due, to resubmit. Okay, you can read a different book. If you didn't like the book, read a different book. You still have time. If you want to use some of the same books, then go back and look at it and add to it. Okay? There are a few of you that did get full credit, so you wouldn't necessarily have to worry about redoing, but there are many of you that need to resubmit. Okay, and I left some comments, so you can go into Schoology, you can look at that assignment, and you can see the message that I left you, so it kind of helps you figure out what you need to do. Okay? Question, Brendan? So a diary entry would be like a journal. So you might write in there, if you're writing from a Native American's point of view, you might write kind of what they did that day, write how hard it is, maybe how they're exhausted and tired because they had to travel miles to hunt, or maybe they were harvesting crops all day. So you're telling me what you think their day was like. Okay, based on that character in the book. Okay, so it'd be written in first person with a lot of I's, me's, and my's. All right? Okay. Sean.
I thought it was just like the first couple sentences of like some dates. Like I thought April 30th, 1789.
Well, a timeline. You have to look up what a timeline is. We can look at that in a little bit, okay? And see what we need to do to fix it. All right. Other questions on the November, December book reports? So I'm looking for effort put forth into these. Okay? Looking for a little more, then I'm just gonna hurry up and get it done and move on, because I'm not gonna give you full credit. The October one was a little different if you completed it and turned it in, because we were having issues with it getting submitted properly. I didn't look at that one nearly as carefully, but I did look at it. These, as I'm looking and reading them, like I said, I'm a little disappointed, because I know we can do more, and we can do better, okay? So get those submitted, or resubmitted if you need to. If you didn't submit all 3, then I didn't grade them. I might have given you comments on ones you submitted. There were, I think, 2 or 3 of you that were almost done, but I didn't give you a final grade because you still had one to do, okay? All right. Other questions on the book report? We're good in here?
Yep.
Okay, if you have questions and you're watching this, please message me and let me know. All right, Nick, question?
Yeah, so do we do it do we write the stuff down on Notability?
Some did it on Notability and then submitted it that way. I think Wyatt had done all his on paper and took a picture of them all.
There was an accident.
Okay, yeah, and he submitted, so he did 2 pictures for that one, but he submitted pictures of his items if you want to do it on paper. Okay, you could do it on your iPad. I think John had done some recordings, right, and he recorded on his iPad and submitted it that way, so that's fine. Okay, Sean?
I have a question about the ending on my book.
Well, we'll look at yours specifically later, okay? We'll look at those here in a few minutes. All right, let me get them going here. You have today point of view worksheet 2. Who is telling the story? This one is set up a little different. I'm going to hit the preview because I want to look at something here with you quick. So you have the basic, okay? Read the little story. Tell me what point of view it is. And then here it says rewrite the passage above from a different point of view. So you're taking this passage, rewriting it in a different point of view. So if you're like, oh, that was first person, well, then you can't write it in first person. You have to write it in either third person or second person. Okay, so you're rewriting these short stories back in here in a different point of view. So is it going to stay exactly the same length?
No,
Probably not. Is it going to be a little longer?
maybe.
Maybe. Okay, so don't think, oh, 1 sentence and I'm done. This has what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sentences. So you should have at least still 5 sentences, if not more, when you rewrite it. Okay? So 3 rewrites 2. And then if I scroll down, I thought I put one more. Yep. 7 rewrites 6. Oh, look, Adam's in here this time, John.
Thank God.
So in 7, you're rewriting 6. Okay? In a different point of view. All right, again, it should be at least the same number of sentences here, if not more, when you rewrite it. Okay, a little hint. Copy, paste, and then make some adjustments to it so you don't have to retype every single thing. Okay? Exactly. But you can't leave it exactly like this because then I won't give you credit. Because if it looks exactly the same, it's not going to work. You're going to have to change verbs. You might have to change pronouns. Okay? You might have to change the names or eliminate the names depending on what point of view you're writing it in. All right? Question, Sean?
Never mind.
All right, so you can get started on that. That's your assignment for today. This worksheet 2 in point of view.